So we are gonna press on and see if we can turn this around. This will either be a really short episode or I don't know. Maybe it'll happen, and we'll be able to turn it around and can take out either TNCI or Calum depending on the situation. The suggestion at hand is to go for Boar of Carnutes with some Mother Oak and basically go all out with our mages. So right now we're bringing in 3 nature gems per turn and 3 astral pearls. So I'm going to look to cast 2 Boar of Carnutes per turn. I'm already starting that. This turn we're going to hit Alteration 5, which means we're going to be able to throw up the Mother Oak. I'm going to have to basically convert astral pearls over to nature gems. But at this point I'm considering all my astral pearls just to be nature gems in general. And then from there, we'll look to cast 2 Boar of Carnutes per turn. And that's going to be the bulk of our force until we get some land back where we can recruit some units. At this point, I only have right here. This is all the recruiting I could do. I could do some more mages, but I feel like at this point we're essentially going to stop our researching, and it's going to come down to how many things we can field. We already have a significant core of mages for actual battles. So I figure once we get some land back, maybe we can go back to recruiting our mages again. And I'm also going to move out of Terrace Peaks. I'm not sure if this is the right call, but my concern was that Gristlevane would get taken out somehow over there. So I'm pulling him back to Marverni and essentially giving up all of our land except for our capital, at least for a few turns before we can go ahead and move out and start taking it back. I think I'm going to have to field at least 2 armies before I can actually, I don't know, turn this around, because I'm thinking I'll have to go to Lost Lands and then north through here, and probably the Oaklands, and hopefully Satis, doesn't attack me at all, because they're kind of providing a buffer against the AI. So if I go Oaklands and then to Pavonia, I've now created kind of 2 choke points, really, when you factor in Satis's land. So I could go from there back to Terrace Peaks, and then circle around like I originally did, and then probably push out this way against Calum. So that's my plan in the current situation, but obviously subject to change. Other research, Evocation 5 is suggested for the Gifts from Heaven, which is a spell I know is pretty solid, but I've never really used it. Stellar Cascades, which I don't expect to be very good against Calum, just because they're going to fly in and then they're going to be on top of my own units, and it could, hit them just as much as us. And Thaumaturgy 1 for the Communion, obviously. I'm still kind of thinking Paralyze or Sleep is kind of key here, too. So that's probably something I'm going to go for as well, just because they are fielding a lot of mammoths. Okay. Let's see if we can do this thing. Okay, so I'm looking at the land right now, and it looks like TNCI has basically totally left our area, with the exception of going into Terrace Peaks. So I'm actually going to move Gristlevane out. I figure if I can just grab these, then it gives me a little gold per turn to use to keep recruiting some units and things like that. So I'm going to go for it. I think he can handle it. It's not too bad. Research plugging along. We got our first boars out, and I don't know how this works, like how much they summon per turn, but they do pull these great boars in. 20 hit points, protection's pretty bad, really bad magic resist, but they are tramplers, and they're large enough to trample a human-sized unit, so that's not too shabby, I don't think. They'll give us bodies, that's what we're looking for. Bringing out 2 more per turn. You can see I have no nature gems and no astral gems, so Mother Oak is going up. I don't know, guys. It'll be really interesting. Let's say that if I can turn this around, I'll be blown away, especially with the help from people making suggestions in the video. So, alright, let's see how this goes. Okay, 2 turns down the line. I'm starting to see that this could work, guys. Alright, I got a handful of units. We got 18 guys here. We got another 9 here guarding our one in the woods. And right now we're sitting at 6 Boar of Carnutes. 2 more coming out this turn. We got 10, 17, 20, 21 of the little guys. So here's my plan. I think Gristlevane goes out and probably... Well, I was going to send him against TNCI. I think with a little... I don't know. Maybe a few casters to help protect him. But I think the bulk of our forces go towards Calum. I did decide to go for Thaumaturgy 4 against the recommendation to go to Alteration 6 first. They're not sieging me. I believe the suggestion was for Iron Pigs. I don't know much about Iron Pigs, but apparently they'll convert our boars. I assume give them more protection. I don't have the gems to cast it, though. It's 7 per turn. Oh, those are... Oh, I looked at the effects. Earth gems 10 per turn, so I'm not pulling enough for that. I do have a lot, though. I'm currently converting pretty much everything to nature right now. But I'm just thinking with the mammoths, the paralyze is going to be pretty big. So I'm looking at all of our level 2 astral spells, casters going towards Calum to neutralize those mammoths. They're really the big threat. And then I'm hoping that our troops can handle the flyers and the archers. So I'm still pretty convinced that Gristlevane can almost single-handedly stop most of the armies that TNCI is going to throw at me. So I figure with a little support, protecting him, maybe a few units here and there, just to give him, so he doesn't get totally surrounded or something like that, I think he can really do it. So I've managed to keep these 2 provinces. They haven't attacked into them for some reason, even though they're pretty much undefended. And yeah, that's where we're at. I don't think it's too shabby right now. I do think we have a chance. Alright guys, so I've been fiddling with this for quite a while now. I hope I've done a decent job. I'm moving out pretty much all of our mages except for the guys that are level 1 in their spell paths. I got a bunch of level 2s in Astral and Earth, and that's the bulk of our forces. So we're looking at mages basically casting either Paralyze or Gifts from Heaven, or some combination of that, depending on what their spell paths are. So we have some of the Elder Druids can cast Gifts from Heaven a few times. Some of the regular Druids can cast it once, and then they're probably going to have to switch to something else. So I'm looking at putting Gristlevane right in the front. I want him to attract some attention since I'm not really worried about him getting killed, especially with this many units in there. I got 72 boars coming. I only took 2 of the Great Boars. I figure I ought to leave the rest of them behind at the capital to keep summoning new ones. And I left a couple spaces open for these ones to recruit troops again as well. I figured if they hit 40-40, then they would stop recruiting. So I did throw up a couple spells of ogres. I figured they're good bodies. And I'm kind of thinking they would be perfect to send with Gristlevane. That they have a lot of health. I put them behind Gristlevane, and then as the battle hits, they'll just kind of like provide some bodies right next to him so he's not completely surrounded. Though, again, I'm just not really concerned about his well-being at this point because I really think he can handle himself. And then I got some of the our Sacred Warriors here and some of the Ambibates. This is all I've been able to acquire at this point. But I'm hoping that with all the spells we have and the Boars and this many units can at least push Calum back a little bit. And then Gristlevane and the Ogres and maybe a couple casters can go into TNCI. My thinking is if I push Terrace Peaks and maybe defeat a large army there, or even just siege them, that Gristlevane can break off and take some of these provinces over here and get our income moving again. So I kind of expect them to move down into the Lost Lands. Not entirely certain. I don't have... Well, I got a little bit of money here. I'm going to bump this up a little bit. Hopefully we can hold them off. And that's pretty much it. Research-wise, I think I am going to bump over to Enchantment. I am looking at... Well, first off, we have Gristlevane that can benefit from, like, Fire Shield, but also Flight. So I thought that would be really nice to get him into the back line. And then I do want to go really deep into the major astral spells, because I've never done that before. So I'm looking at Arcane Nexus, and I'm looking at Master Enslave. I've never seen these spells, and they're like the really high, the really big astral spells as far as I know. So that's what I'm shooting for. I don't have the Communion set up at this point, and I also don't have Light of the Northern Star set up at this point. I don't have the Water Gems. God, my voice is dying already. I don't have the gems to produce the free Astral Pearls, and I've been converting all my astral pearls to other things. So that's where we're at. I'm going to wait in Pavonia. I really hope that they all attack me at this point, because I think that it'll be a slaughter for us. So let's hope that happens. I can really use the help here at this point. Okay, here we go. They're attacking Pavonia. Kind of curious. Wow, they don't have much here. Kind of curious how this looks. This is how I set it up. My thinking... Well, I meant to put the boars on the side. These move pretty fast and they're undisciplined, so... I forgot to move a couple druids, too. Gotta be careful about that. Looks like they put the body ethereal on the boars, and I was hoping that druids would cast that on themselves, and apparently did not. Okay. Oh, I missed the gifts from heaven. Okay. 2 misses there. I assume that spell is significantly better if you have a large enemy force there. There we go. 139 damage on the first hit. Paralyzed coming down. Neutralizing an ogre. That's good stuff. Okay. And I think that these boars are probably not ideal against ogres because they can't trample them. And it's not like their stats are that great. They do have good attack, I guess. Defense, not so much. Okay, let's see if they can trample some stuff here. Oh, God. Wow, so actually some casualties from Gifts of Heaven there, but it did crush those ogres. So from the looks of it, I should probably push these boars all the way to the back, because they got up there too fast. And even... again, this is why I'm thinking flight would be good on our god, because he didn't even get a chance to get into the battle. So, let's see what we got over here in Oaklands. I didn't have anything here, so let's check out what their forces are. Fielding Griffins, 13 magic resist, pretty good. You know, I kind of have a different opinion of these. I used to think they were really garbage. They are undisciplined, which is rough to me for a flyer. But still, that's a pretty badass unit. I'll blame that on Horrifying Thoughts. He changed my opinion of wyverns in our multiplayer game. So I've definitely had a change of opinion on them. I don't think they're very good in your major force, but he put them to good effect, just kind of being a raiding force. And that's pretty much it. I have all these Boar of Carnutes. You know, the other thing I was thinking would be pretty useful for us is to cast Awakened Sleeper and make a kind of mini thug that could take some of these smaller, lighter defended provinces. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. It looks like TNCI has really bumped up their defenses over here in Terrace Peak, so that's kind of scary a little bit. I still think we can handle it with Gristlevane and a group of ogres or something like that. And there's a look at our boar production. So all of these were empty this turn. So I don't know. It must be like random. Maybe you get like D3 every turn, because these dudes got 3 of them this turn. 1, 1, 2, 2, 2. So it's 8, 10, 12, 14, 17, 21. I think, if I counted that right, I skimmed through there really fast. So I can definitely see this working out. I really can. I think I'm going to slow down to 1 summon per turn, and like I said, try to get some of those sleepers out. And I would really like to get some free Astral Pearl items building as well. Okay, so I actually decided to change my approach, and I moved Gristlevane into the Oaklands, and I held my army in Pavonia for a turn. I wanted to get a prophet out, and I don't know. Looks like Satis moved into this province, so that kind of worries me. But it does tell us that Satis is at war with whatchamacallit? With Satis as well, so... Oh my god. He used a shockwave. Wow, okay. That's pretty cool. Why aren't these flying? Okay. I'm curious about how Trample works against something like Gristlevane here. Like, he took a little damage there apparently, but we didn't get to see how much. He's pretty much entirely relying on armor at this point, just because obviously I took the misform off, so. Okay, good stuff. As long as we don't get any afflictions. Alright, let's see what Satis threw at me. This worries me, because I don't know Satis too well. Okay, so they got a lot of units. Probably have some poison in there, but I think our regeneration would be fine. And it doesn't look like he's got anyone to, like, cast Curse or anything like that. I'm pretty sure they can do that pretty well. Oh, I don't have Mistform up, though. That's unfortunate. We're gonna be okay. Right? I'm not used to this, guys. This whole, combatant, type pretender build. Looks like we're gonna be fine, though. They're not even damaging him. Just beasting. Look at this. Putting out so much damage, too, and I just remembered something I wanted to look at. So, I think it was Horrifying Thoughts as well. It said that this is... Okay, small area fire. Okay, so I see it. Fire damage. And then the actual weapon is magic damage. So this is... I see. Okay, the thing was, is I thought it was odd that he could damage that fire elemental from before so easily. So... This is, looking really good. I mean, pretty much everybody around him is affected by the Vine Shield at this point. He's just gonna hack them up one at a time. The unfortunate thing here is I would have loved to have seen them use these units against Calum, but then Satis would have taken my province, so I guess it's good that I went that way. He's doing really well, though, guys. Doing really well. There it is. See, I'm kind of thinking now maybe I should go this way. Oh my god. Satis is taking over. You know what? I'm almost fine with this. If they're going to take out Calum, they're like I'm going to let them take Lupia. And I hope they do. Because now I can focus on T and Shiai. I could probably go to Calum through here and block this. I'm fine with this. And then we can deal with Satis later, assuming they don't attack me on their own. So like I can go like this, hit Lys over here, just leave my army here in case they decide to move out and attack me. They have a bunch of units there, though. That's pretty scary. Like, definitely more than I have. I'll probably bump our defenses up, keep bumping this province defense up. But I can go up here and just kind of, with Gristlevane, I think that's the route I'm going to go. I did prophetize this guy. This random adventurer dude. Yeah, we don't even have many troops. So he'll be able to take the blessings out of all the casting I was doing. Let's see how much boars we have. About time to move another one out, I think. Okay. Guys, I'm liking the look of this. Alright, so T and Shiai coming into Pavonia. Let's see what they brought. Not a lot. Okay, I still want to see it kind of see how it works out. With these boars and that sort of thing. Don't want them charging in. Looks like our province defense is almost entirely cavalry archers, which I hate to see. And they're throwing some of their dispossessed spirits at me. I was curious about this. So they only have 8 attack. But it's like 5 to a tile. 6 to a tile. Size 1. And then I thought that their attack is like paralyzing. It is. Here we go. Armor negating, paralyzed damage, magic resistance negates. So I was worried when I saw them and I was talking about sending Gristlevane in. I don't know if they would even be able to harm him, but I was concerned that... look at that nobleman routing. I was concerned that those surrounding him might be able to fatigue him out. I'm not certain if it would happen that way, but I didn't want to risk it. And I don't know, guys. I know this Gifts from Heaven is a really kind of popular spell, but too early to say. I was going to say it's a little underwhelming at this point, but at the same time, it's not like they're fielding large numbers of troops, so that is pretty awesome when it hits, doing like 130 damage. Cavalry has been paralyzed, always good. I gotta remember to keep checking these boars, make sure I'm not, oh wow, look at that. Yeah, they're totally paralyzing our boars. 6 turns, wow. I should have set some of our guys on solar rays. You know what? I don't know if we have that yet. That might be an evocation. The trample working really well against them, so that's awesome. Wasn't sure if it would. I'm gonna paralyze. So nasty. Okay, I think we've seen enough there. That's pretty solid. We lost 8 great boars, but again, they're filling up as they die. So, just kind of continually moving them back. Oh, looks like our dudes went up to 55 leadership now. They have -1 morale. Huh. Oh yeah, because of undisciplined. So I think I need to move out with some of these, at least one of these boars. I'm figuring I could just continually take one over there. And our forces will steadily grow. Leave an opening there. See, we got all those guys. Right? Am I handling this right? It seems to make sense to me to just pile them up in the capital. Here's what I'm doing right here. I'm going for it. I have him set up to add flight and... Oh. Hold on. Oh yeah, I don't have fire shield yet. Oh yeah, I do. Just got it this turn. So I'm thinking he's going to be really disgusting right now. I kind of want to build him a pair of boots that will let him fly, as opposed to casting it in battle, but at this point, I think that's my best bet. And I can finally start bringing some units to production again. So things are looking good. Satis has closed off Calum, so that's perfect for me. I'm totally fine with that. I'm going to look to hit Terrace Peaks, and we can just totally focus on TNCI. I think this worked out really well. So, good stuff. Alright, final turn here. I sent Gristlevein into this cavern because it's only accessible on one end. I don't expect much here. Doesn't look like it. So, Fire Shield, then he goes to Mirror Image. I want to check out his fatigue. Looks pretty good. 12 fatigue. That's pretty solid. Boom. I got a piece of him. These guys, Caveman, yeah, I think they're like weaker ogres. Oh, dead commander there. Didn't even get to see the fire shield in action. That's okay. They moved back into that previous province I was in, Liss. So I had no money to even put one province defense in there. And then I decided to attack Terrace Peaks. So here we go. And there are a boatload of boars here. And no troops to defend it. So they've decided to basically hang back. Winner of the thingamabobber, Solomon, God of Lanka. And we've already broken Terrace Peaks. Interesting. So that's where we're at. I'm going to end it here. They do have a pretty good force here in Terrace Peaks. So I'm kind of thinking, and we're starving, not to mention. I did build a handful of these guys right here. So I'm thinking, can they get there in one turn? No, they can't. Okay. Didn't think they would be able to. So I need to get those over there. I kind of think I want to have Gristlevein in that battle because he could fly over the walls and just crush them entirely. So I think that's what I'm going to do. They have those dispossessed spirits here. So let me know, are these dispossessed spirits going to be a problem for Gristlevein? I kind of think with Fire Shield on that they won't be. In fact, it might be a good idea to bump it up to like second just to make sure it goes off. But I'm kind of thinking with Fire Shield, they'll kill themselves when they attack him. Even if they paralyze him, it won't even matter. But I'm thinking we go here. I get those bags of wine or whatever the heck they're called over to Terrace Peaks. I could probably go Liss, Copper, Woods, and then swing down to Terrace Peaks for the battle. Or something like that. Or just go Liss, Terrace Peaks. That would actually make more sense because we wouldn't be starving with the fort there anyway. So, let me know what your thoughts are. I'm pretty excited to see this turning around. As long as Satis doesn't attack us, and I think that they're busy with Calum, that they won't attack us. So I think we can do this. We're just going to look to take out TNCI, and then we can swing around to fight Calum, assuming Satis doesn't take them out. And I would love that they did. So Atlantis over here, hopefully they don't attack us. Research-wise, I've already mentioned I'm thinking late enchantment for that Arcane Nexus, Thaumaturgy for Master, Enslave, and I'm kind of thinking Conjuration for the King of Elemental Earth, or another one I've heard about that I've never used. I thought it was a spell over here. Golem Construction. I think these are pretty good thugs, if I'm not mistaken. So let me know your thoughts on continuing the research and how we should go about prosecuting this war. Things are looking good. They're looking up. Thanks for the suggestions so far, and I will see you in the next episode.